Today we're going to be discussing a shotgun build, but before we do that, I want to have a quick discussion about MOA. If you want to dive deep into the subject, Tower and Onepeg are probably the foremost guys on this right now. So there'll be a link in the description for Onepeg's video. He's got a bunch of information on there if you want to dive deeper, but the basic gist of it is, in Tarkov, when you shoot around, the MOA, or minutes of angle, is the distance inside of a circle, the diameter of a circle, in which you will hit. Now, there are some people on Reddit that have done far better diagrams than I could ever do on MOA and its effect on head hitboxes, so let's take a look at a few of those. Credit of these diagrams go to Twixta on Reddit. At 100 meters, most things are going to be pretty easy to hit the head, as we see here. But the thing to take into effect here as well is whether we're hitting in the nose, forehead, off to a cheek, as that's going to change that box and where that wants to hit. So looking at these rifles, what we can see here is inside of 100 meters, about an 8 MOA is doable, not ideal. 5 MOA is about where we want to sit, and we've got a full chart for those we'll talk about later. But once you start heading out to about 200 meters, which is about the distance of the bridge to RUAF exfil on customs. So once you start getting out to there, that 8 MOA could be hitting them in the chest or completely whizzing by their head at that point. 5 also could do the same. At this range, we want to be about a 2 MOA, as that allows you to have a little bit of leeway in the facial hitbox. But as we head out to about 300 meters, you really want to be at about 1.5 or below. So it's important to note the shotguns that you're going to see on its stat sheet is going to show the buckshot rounds for the default MOA. It won't change until you put a slug in the chamber. So, with that being said, I went through every shotgun and found the best ammo for accuracy, and went ahead and did AP20 as well, because let's be honest, a lot of us running AP20 just because it's AP20. So what we found is these are the best builds. The suppressed MP153 with Superformance, going to cost you 98,000 rubles. Rate of fire of 40 with a 3.51 MOA. So again, at 300 meters, that's going to put us still fairly large. So we really want to use this within about 200 meters. Now, that's not terrible, especially when you're trying to get woods scav kills done. And if you're using Superformance anyway, you're probably going to want to shoot chest on scavs if they don't have armor, or obviously tap the head and just get it over with. A much more budget-friendly version is the RTC MP153 with Superformance. But again, the standard Superformance does work pretty well, and you don't need to modify the gun out to really get the same stats here. So that's why mine is a budget build. I'm a budget type of person for the most part. I want to build things that are going to be cost effective so I can have more of them and just get back into a raid without hurting myself too much. Now, you also have the option of running with AP20, but as we see, it is a pretty massive change from the Superformance. A whole 2 MOA difference. So, I mean, that is something to kind of consider here, is depending on what type of ammunition you're using, it's going to change your gun completely. But let's look at my actual build and see what we're working with here. If we're chasing a budget shotgun build and get these tasks done with suppressed 12 gauge, what we're going to do is hook up with the 12 gauge adapter, the Salvo 12. I like the 7-round mag on these, though the 5 usually is what is working with most of these attachments. I believe the 5 is what you need for the suppressed version. The Spectre DR is fairly cheap, so that's what I use, because it also has a zoom, which gives you a massive help. They're going 1 and 4 times. The standard stock is fine here, but we're sitting at 0 ergonomics. You could switch this out if you care about ergo. Throw the Tula stock adapter on, throw an AGR on, buffer tube, and the DS150. But that's going to add a lot of price to this gun, and you don't necessarily want to do that. So we'll go back to my desired stock, find parts, and this is going to run you right now at time of recording about 145k. Fairly expensive overall, but it is what it is. Now, obviously, you can get rid of barrels, things like that, to bring the price down. But even at that, you're still going to spend over 100K on this. Now, the suppressor obviously is a big chunk of the price here. So what we can do there is get rid of this in favor of the RTC. And you've got a pretty good, solid build for not very expensive at all. We see the price savings is about 30 to 40K depending on the day. Now this shotgun is going to be a slug gun. So you're not using this with any kind of buckshot or anything like that. So just be aware this is a distance shotgun meant to head tap at about 200 meters. So going along with this, if we're looking at what MOA we want for a distance gun, and the shotgun just isn't what you're wanting right now, think about this. These are the rates for the 100% durability MOA. We're sitting at a 0.45 on the DVL-10 at around 80,000 rubles. Now you could spend about half that and get essentially the insane performance of the SV98. Or you can spend about the same as the SV98 on a Mosin and have much worse performance at a distance. Now mind you, this is really going to come into effect at around 250 to 300 meters, but you will feel that difference once you start catching out to 300 plus if you decide to go that route. Now, the best bang for the buck in my mind right now is going to be the VPO 215. That, or if you're a 5.56 person, consider the AK 101 over something like the TX 15. The felt difference there will be negligible, and the price difference is just absolutely insane. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now we can dive deeper into each one of these builds. If you guys are interested in that, and if you are, go and comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see. Hit like, hit subscribe. Hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, again, give it a like. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you around.